Hi, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Desma. Hey, and welcome to today. It's just going to be a quick podcast today, not a real long one, not a lengthy one. I just want to apologize for last night's podcast. I kept on hearing some kind of echo in my microphone, and I didn't know if it was coming through the actual feed, and it actually was. And I saw some messages coming through that it was getting a little echoey. So what we're going to do on that podcast is we're going to go ahead and redo it. So next week we're going to have him on again, but we're going to talk a little bit about some different subjects because he is very knowledgeable on Enoch, the Anunnaki, and all kinds of stuff. So if you guys missed that podcast, it's okay. We're going to redo it, and hopefully the sound is coming in nicely today, and it's not doing that echo crap that happened last night. I think what happened was, you know how systems are. They Once you get a new software up there and it starts updating, then it just kind of freaks out your computer for a minute. And unfortunately, it did it right in the middle of our podcast, man. Again, here we go, right? So I switched to this whole system in order to get it right. Okay, so but I hope you watched last night. It was very informative. And like I said, if you can go to over here, Alien Strand Extras on Patreon, download that app. It's free too, man. So you can be a part of us there, and you can do it for free. Or if you want to pay the $5 a month one, I'm going to actually have 3 extra podcasts this next week on different subjects you won't see here or anywhere else. You're going to only see there on that extras. All right. So don't forget, check that out. Last night's podcast, all right. So Mr. Dwayne Belcher, I felt so bad for him because I was his actual voice was coming out really good, but mine was so horrible. And I don't know why my mic did that, and he was thinking it was because of his earpiece, but me personally, I think it was my software, man. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the day today. It was a beautiful day outside today, nice and hot. You know, we went to go look at vehicles today. You know, me and Kelly, she was looking at another vehicle. So, you know, what more can you ask for? Let's go out and have enjoy the day. And over here, down here in South Texas, Corpus Christi is the Jazz Festival. So we're going to that here in shortly. I just wanted to make sure that everything was working here tonight. Hi, Marcia. Man, you're just like one of the biggest fans out there on every one of these. Thank you. I really appreciate you for being for just watching today. You know, and I've been don't forget, watch the middle if you can. You know where the next one's gonna be. It's coming out. I'm working on, actually I'm pointing to my other computer over there, and I'm actually editing over there at the same time while I'm doing this, right? So I got that one working over there, this one going over here. So you got to remember, I am a busy, busy, busy guy. So, you know, even my mom tells me, man, you don't call me that much. I said, I'm sorry, mom, but I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you. So anyway, you know, it's just, they know how busy kind of person I am. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit today about, you know, some different things that are happening up in our skies. You know, we always see it all the time, you know, and uh, we always try to figure out what are these things, right? UFOs and why, right? And that's why I call this here today, this short podcast, UFOs and why, because, you know, I wanted you guys to know that, you know, we always ask that question of why, right? And of course, aliens and what are they? We always see all different kinds. Now, with the photos you're seeing right here are actual photos that I pulled off the online on a lot of our groups. And what it is, you know, these are actual extraterrestrial. The one on the left, man, if I would have seen something like that walking in my door, oh my God, I would have been freaked out. But you know, I'm a pew pew kind of person, so you know, I just you have to be these days. I'm sorry, but you know, I don't know what I would have done if I would have seen someone walking in the door like that. But anyway, the photos on the right, there are, you know, there's a couple of photos there of some extraterrestrials. Now, somebody just caught this one, the one in the dead center. I don't know if you could see it, but it's an actual craft up in the sky, and it has this kind of chandelier kind of look, but with different colors, right? But if you really zoom in, you'll be able to see this craft that's up in that sky, you know, and it's I want to clarify this, and then I'm going to get it on Alien Strand Disclosure Project team, so we can go ahead and analyze this photo a little bit better. I just throwing it out tonight, you know. And then this, we always talk about what do they want, right? What is their agenda, you know? And I've explained this before that, you know, this is what they wanted to do. They tried to they abduct a lot of people. Always talking about the film Missing 411. You have to see this. I think it's on Hulu now, and I'm sorry, it's on Tubi TV and all those other the free ones. So if you check out this film called Missing 411, and it's a great documentary. It's one of the best ones I've seen out there, actually, as far as catching your attention and knowing what's happening to folks that are disappearing. Now, when you're out there in the woods, man, you're and during the film, it's telling you don't go out to the woods alone, right? Because 9 times out of 10, when you disappear or this person disappears, they're alone. It's always going to be when you're alone. It's kind of hard to do it when there's a group of people or more than one, right? So, I mean, what do you do in a situation like that when you got to go hunting? To show an actual hunter going missing and then never found him again. Now, I get it. Bears, cougars, or mountain lions out there, because we're talking about out there in the middle of the upper states, where there's just nothing but forestry out there. Of course, forestry comes with animals, and that's what you're seeing up there. And they're having a lot of more things. But the thing is, with the story about that is that they're finding these people, right? And these people are actually 50, 60 miles away after they find them. Of course, they're deceased, right? But a lot of times they're finding them without shoes. Some of their clothing is missing. They don't find no bite marks on them or things like that. Some of them, it's just some of them totally naked. That they find them in the middle of nowhere, up in the mountains somewhere. This distance away within a short period of time. They're saying, man, how can they get from this distance to that distance, right? So, and this is what I'm talking about, my agenda. What do they want, right? What is it that they want? We know that it's that they're looking for, of course, our DNA, and that they're probably using that. We all know that they can't multiply, and they're having that issue of keeping themselves going as an existence, right? So, and I've read a lot of books, and I've seen a lot of declassified information on these extraterrestrials, like the big 6, 9 foot ones, are real thin, tall grays, right? Of course, they're saying they're over 600 years old. The smaller ones are, a little bit smaller. They said they can live a couple of hundred years, maybe, but they're actually clones, right? So their lifespan is a lot shorter, and they clone these beings, right? And because they can't eat, they don't have no reproductive organs, they don't have no sexual organs. So they're trying to figure out how to survive. So the best way for them to do it: abduct people, abduct a lot of females, abduct a lot of RH negative females, take their eggs, and that's how they do what they're trying to do, right? Scary thing, man. It's a freaking scary thing. And yeah, Marsha, I believe it says I believe their agendas are they're between different species, and that's true. That's what Marsha's saying. It could be like the reptilians. They always talk about those, that these guys just want to take over everything, right? And they want just total domination of everything. These little guys, they work, and I think they're just trying to multiply, trying to stay alive. Their existence just to keep on going. Now, the ones that I'm having an issue with is like what do you call those? The, the draconians, and then all these other different kinds that we don't see very much of. All we see is the little grays. Even the human looking ones, we haven't really seen very many photos of, because if they're human, hey, they're come on, they're going to kind of mesh with us. And if they look too human, hey, they can just kind of mix in with the human race, and you won't even know if you're talking to an extraterrestrial or not, right? So, and that does make sense, right? Because to me, it does. And then when they abduct you, right, what happens? They scare the living crap out of you, for one. They take you from where you're at. You disappear. You're going to see that. You're going to see some of these abductions actually happen in my CE3, the middle part two. So you will actually see some real footage of this, of things that have happened to people, actually being taken away, right? And it's not the people in this film, but you're going to see some of different films from all over the world that have been shown out there that some folks don't get to see, right? And their agenda, like I said, it's a scary thing. These things are not here to make you happy, take you to a picnic and meet the family. They're here just for one thing, and just it's just to use you, use your blood, use everything. And if you come back, great. A lot of people don't come back, right? So, and that's the scary part, and that's what I always talk about, just trying to worry about what you're seeing up in the sky. When you're out there by yourself, if you're out there CE5ing, I don't know if you know what CE5 is. It's when you actually play music, you meditate, and you wait for one of these crafts to show itself, or an actual like a paranormal looking being will come up on your camera, on your phone, or anything like that when you're taking photos around everything, right? So, and then it's actual contact, right? So, and this is what Dr. Greer always talks about. He's always making contact, and he shows you how to make contact. I actually got a spreadsheet on how to CE5. Um, I'm actually gonna make. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a PDF of it, right? And then I'm gonna put it up on our website, and you can download it, and it'll show you step by step how to CE5. If you don't know how to, if you want to, connect with them, of course, use a laser beam. That's pretty cool, and just kind of sit there and meditate. 9 times out of 10, if you do it right and you're mellow. And I talked to a good friend of mine, Justin Boone. He's part of our Alien Strand Disclosure Project. He tells me, man, you have to wipe everything out of your mind when you're doing this. You can't be thinking about work. You can't be thinking about school. You can't be thinking about none of this stuff when you're sitting out. You literally have to, you have to make sure everything is out of your mind when you start doing this CE5. So in other words, do this alone where there's not a bunch of kids around, bothered. Hey, dad, hey, mom, and they're pulling on you. It's not going to happen for you. All right. So just make sure you're around some people that want to do this with you. And I'm not saying to do it to get abducted. No, but I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are curious about what they're seeing up in the skies, right? And some will show themselves to you as a orb, right? Well, when we talked about last night with Dwayne, he said that he actually saw a blue orb come up to his windshield, and then it freaking zipped off and it scared the living crap out of him, right? That's what we were talking about last night, and this is it just happened for no reason at all what happened to him, right? And this is what happens to a lot of people. Or you can sit there and you can call these things out to you, and hey, they might come out, right? They might make themselves known. So I'm going to show you this. I have this video, right? And we did show this on the middle, right? But this is our one of my good friends, really good friends, Jody Gordon. She used to live in Colorado, right? I mean, yeah, in Colorado, and she has a Nikon P1000, P900 at the time, and she was actually shooting up at the sky, right? This was a year and a half ago, so this footage is a year and a half old. Now, I came across it today, right? And the only reason I'm showing you do this today is because somebody put their name on it, and I don't think that's right. So we all know, because I sent this video to her. I said, "Hey, man, is this your footage? Because this looks exactly what's on the middle, the movie that you let us have permission for." She goes, "Yeah, that is my that's my footage." I said, "Well, it's got somebody else's name on it, man. You might want to check on that." Anyway, let's go ahead and show this real quick. And just this came out on our film. The only reason you have to see this because it's so unreal, and this is what happens in our skies every day. And she films this. So watch this. So you get the logistics of this, right? I mean, of course, the name is incorrect. The date is incorrect because I know when she shot it, right? I have the date stamp, and why some people do this, I don't know. Maybe he fixed it up. Maybe that's why he put his name on it. But if you're going to put your name on somebody else's footage, make sure you give them credit because it's their footage that you're using, right? And this is what I do. I when I put it out there on my films, I give them credit. I ask them permission, and they let me use it. I give them full credit. And when he did this, yeah, music is great and whatever, but just the footage that she caught. I couldn't when she first sent that to me last year, not in 2023, right? That was 2022. When I was editing the middle last year, she actually sent that to me, and she goes, "Here, man, this is one of my best ones, and you could use it on your film." I was like, "All right, let's." And when I saw it, I was just my mouth just hit the floor, right? Because I'd never seen anything like that. And she caught that with her camera, right? I know the music, right? So, and I told her, I said, "Wow, man, I can't believe you caught that." She goes, "Me neither." But did you see the way it was a tic tac, went up in the air, straight up, it flips, and then it shoots a different direction. Me and Terry are always talking about that, right? How these things are always doing these different maneuvers in midair. What does that, man? What stops in midair and then turns in this direction and goes into a cloud, right? And you could tell there's some kind of force behind it because when it flips, it's still kind of going up and then it shoots this way, right? So there's the gravity properties are working in this one, whatever it has gravity. Because if it didn't, it was working on a different propulsion system like we see in different crafts. When it flips, it would have just flipped and just shot that way. But this one actually flipped. It moved up a little bit in this direction and shot across, right? So and just it makes you wonder on their propulsion systems what they have or how these UFOs, these tic tacs, if that was man made. They've talked about that we have these things now, right? I mean, if we have one, let me try one. I really like to see that, but I know that's not going to happen. And I wish that they would just say, "Hey, man, come on, we got it right here. Here it is. Check this out." Whatever. I'm like, okay. So anyway, I'm going to show you another real quick video before I take off from here in a second. But I believe this was a video. Let me see if I can find it. I believe it was shot in. Oh yeah, it was shot in Florida here recently. So now I don't know if they have air balloons over there, and that's the first kind of thing I thought. But then when I start seeing the light, you're going to see blinking patterns on this. Pay attention to the blinking patterns on this craft that's above the skyline, literally above the city. Watch this.
¿Qué es esa vaina? No, 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 no. Quedar aquí hasta que se vaya. Eso no es un avión. Eso no es un helicóptero. Eso es un globo. No, pero espera.
So he's saying in Spanish, this is not an airplane. This is no, it's no un avión. It's not an airplane. So and if you look at the blinking patterns, it'll go one, and then one, two, three. Right, that's the red light. Then it'll go. Wait for a second. It'll go one again. Then it'll go one, two, but in a slower. And then it goes back again. You figure it's going to go one, two, three again, right? And it doesn't. It just goes one. So this is a totally different pattern where it's mimicking something. Now, could this be an actual, a balloon out there? Those Goodyear blimps, whatever they call them out there. Do they have one of those in Florida now? And this thing is pitch black, so it all you're seeing is the nav lights that are on the bottom. Of course, if it has nav lights, it might just be something that's man made, right? And it could be. But the thing that I caught weird is that it's just pitch black and it's just making the shadow up in the sky over the city, right? And that's what's the weird part about that video. Um, and I hope we find some answers on that and just to see what we get out of it. Because you know what? If that thing's a UFO and it's that, on top of these buildings, man, that would have just been a sight to see, right? And like I said today, what we're talking about, what do these things want, right? What do they want? I mean, were they going to abduct somebody if it was a UFO? Maybe. I am here to, like I always say, I'm not here to make you believe. That's up to you to decide. I just throw the evidence out for you guys, right? So I'm going to show you one more video that I didn't get to show with Terry last week. I forgot all about it, but this was caught on an aircraft, and it was actually last week, probably about Monday or Tuesday, that it actually popped out on the internet, and it was all over the place on TikTok and everything. So we even put it on our TikTok there. We do have a TikTok, remember, for Alien Strand. We do have one there. So go check out our TikTok there. You'll find it. Just type in Alien Strand. You'll find it. Anyway, so let's check out this real quick video. Here we go.
Lower the curtain down, alright. I got no time for private consultation under the Milky Way tonight. Wish I knew what you were looking for. Might have known what you would find. And it's something quite peculiar, something shimmering and white. It leads you here, despite your destination.
Is that crazy or what, man? I mean, you would think, okay, if it's the lights from inside of the airplane, I'm always thinking outside the box, right? So I'm thinking, that's something, that's the lights inside. No, but the lights are tiny, right? And then when he zooms in to the clouds, these objects get bigger and they're all over the place, right? There's, I think, what, 8 of them or so. That's a great video. I mean, if you don't believe in UFOs, after watching that, you should, because these things are out there, man. I had to show these videos because I missed them, and I wanted to get on here today because I just wanted to let you guys know that our podcast is coming back out with again, and like I said, we're going to talk about the Anunnaki. We're going to talk about Enoch. We're going to talk about the Atlantis. We're going to talk about a lot of good stuff. I called him up and I said, "Hey man, we're going to have to do this again." All right. He goes, "Man, okay, I love this show anyway." And I was like, "All right, well, let's do it." Right. So don't forget, he's going to come on, Mr. Dwayne Belcher. He's going to come on again, and we're gonna mix it up a little bit, and he's very knowledgeable about a lot of things of the past, right? Historical events. So and I love talking to people and to pick their brain, because not a lot of people know their back history of what's happened in human nature, right? And the evolution of human beings, and all the written texts that they have out there of human beings and where they came from, and it intrigues me, right, just as much as it'll probably intrigue you as well. Don't forget to catch our other podcast. Okay, so it's on Alien Strand Extras, right? If you guys can go out there, it's for free. Download Patreon, right? And you're going to get a lot of good stuff. And if you become a member of Alien Strand Extras, I'm going to be giving away stickers. I'm going to be giving away shirts. I'm going to be giving away some cool pins. I'm trying to getting some hats made right now. So I'll be giving away a lot of good stuff, because you help me, I am going to help you as well. That's my appreciation for you guys for being a part of Alien Strand Disclosure Project or Alien Strand Extras, really in reality on Patreon, because, if you're paying for it, I believe you should get what you pay for. And you're going to get extra podcasts as well, that you're not going to find here on Facebook. You're not going to find it on YouTube. You're not going to find it anywhere. You're only going to find it there on Patreon. Okay. So I hope you guys go to our Patreon page. I'll send a link on after this podcast is over. I'll add the link there so you can go to our Patreon page. You can just like it or follow it. You don't necessarily have to pay when you get on there or anything. If you decide you want to pay, go for it, man. I really appreciate you. And we can actually have messages between all my members that are on there, so I get to talk to all of you guys at the same time. Okay, so I hope you guys really liked this podcast today. It was short, but it was quick. I just want to make sure everything was working. Thank you for just listening to me ramble just a little bit, and I was hoping that, I would just kind of clarify some things a little bit before you watch the podcast from last night, because man, it upset the hell out of me. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it was doing that. And I didn't want to cut him off in the middle because he was giving you a lot of information. So I don't know if you've noticed, uh on the podcast I was trying not to speak that much because, you know uh just to try to get, his information out there, right? Hey, Alpha Wolf FX, man, thank you for being a part. Thank you for bringing your comments out there. I appreciate you. You know, and that is true. They do hate the name of Jesus, that's for sure. I've heard of that, man, and it's not even a joke, really. In reality, is I've heard that when these things are out in front of you, and the people have, there's two ways of deterring them from taking you. Right, and this is what I've heard, and this is what I've read on a few stories because I do a lot of documentation on things. Now, I've had one person that I've read about that they didn't know what to do because these things were in front of them and they were going to take this person, and what they remembered on they had read that if you say jokes to them, they don't like that. So they might just let you go, right? You just tell them some corny jokes and crazy jokes if they let you talk without being, in some kind of paralysis, right? So just kind of, if you can do that, or I've heard people say, they say Jesus, or in the name of Jesus, and these things will go away, right? So I don't know. I don't know. There's just different angles and different stories for everything. But of here, right? Remember, here we keep an open mind, so everything's open here. And we just try to keep everything. We don't get religious, and we don't get political, and we don't do none of that. We just keep an open mind on everything that's around us, and we're just trying to figure out exactly what they are, right? And it's just crazy how a lot of these things happen in our skies. And like I always say, just keep your eyes in the skies, right? Because if you're down here looking at your, oh man, you know what? I take my kid to school every day. I'm gonna tell you the story real quick. I take my kid to school every day, and every morning we go by a bus stop, and out of 15 kids, out of 13 of them are just like this, pointing down and looking at their phone. Not even, they're at a corner where it's a busy intersection. Never know if a car's gonna come. Never know if anything's gonna happen. You know, never know if a UFO is gonna fly by, right? So, and all I'm trying to say here is keep your nose out of this sometimes, when you're out and about. Keep your eyes in the skies. Always have it in your hand, though. Have it handy, because you never know when you're going to take a really good video. And please, if you're going to take a video of, if you see something strange at night and you're in your car, pull over, be on the safe side, pull over, get out, or open your window. Please don't shoot the video inside your car, because the reflection of the glass will give us a lot of things that are on your dash that look like UFOs, and then we're arguing with you, telling you it's not a UFO, it's your, it's the cold knob, on your car, the cold and hot knob, temperature changer, or their numbers flip back. I mean, I've had numerous discussions with different people that, they say, no, that's real. Look at the numbers in the sky, and that's actually their VIN number flipped in reverse, making the thing in the clouds, and they're thinking it's a different thing. So kind of think about what you're doing. All right. Make sure that you stop, pull over, open your window. If you can't, stick your hand out your phone, even if you're driving on the freeway, whatever, get it that way. Or if you have a passenger with you, give them your phone, have them videotape. All right. Be safe. Be safe, but get the footage out there. I'm sure glad that you guys are sticking around and listening to me ramble just a little bit today. I really enjoyed telling you these stories, and just figuring out what these things really are, right? And we have to do what we can, to just to be safe, right? But we want to get the disclosure out, and we're always trying to get disclosure every time. So that's what these shows are about. Even if they try to cut us off, and they've been hitting a lot of our groups lately because we're just telling too much of the truth, right? And that's exactly what's happening. So that's why we have Alien Strand Disclosure Project. Hit us up there, man. Alien Strand Disclosure Project. You can't, if you got a sighting like I was just talking about right now, send it there. Okay. So, we have websites that we pay for. You don't have to pay for it. We're paying for it, and we'll make a report. So asdpufo.com or alienstrand.com. Okay. So go there and just send us your reports, man. If you have something, video, photos, give us the time, date, anybody saw it with you, things like that. We'll put it up on our website. Okay. So we have a few that we're working on right now, and we're going to get some information. Remember, I'm going to make that PDF just for you guys. So that way, if you want to learn to do CE5ing, it will show you how to do CE5, right? So, and it'll tell you step by step if you want to do it. Up to you. So, I hope you guys are enjoying today's little small podcast that I'm trying to do, and it's awesome that you guys are chiming right along. It's Saturday. It's a beautiful day outside, especially down here in South Texas. I hope you guys are just going out and about with your family. Sometimes you got to get out for the day or so. So that today, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to close myself out because they're waiting for me in the car. And we're going to go out and listen to some jazz music and enjoy it. Maybe have a beer or two. Okay. All right. 2. That's it. 2. And go home. Yeah, right. Anyway, so I hope you guys, like I said, are having a good day, and we'll catch you on the next one, all right? So until then, you guys yourselves have a good day, have a good evening, and have a good night.
Hi, this is ASDP ufologist Jody Brown from Arizona, and you are watching Alien Strand Podcast with host Donald Ledesma.
AlienStrand.com, the official website.